Hello, in this recording I will be showing you an integration between a sFTP environment that contains a product XML file and a CommerceTools environment. What we are going to do is we are going to read the XML file from the sFTP. We're going to check if the product has changed. If it has changed, we are going to create a new task. If it hasn't, we will be filtering it out. So just to show you, here we have Alumio. We are looking at a route which has an incoming configuration, which is responsible for pulling the products from the sFTP environment. So if we open this configuration, we can see that it uses a subscriber that does a file system file subscriber, which connects to our generic sFTP environment and is looking for a file products.xml. Now at the other end of the outgoing of the route, we have the outgoing configuration. The outgoing configuration is called CommerceTools create product. And what it does is it has a publisher that uses our CommerceTools publisher, which connects to this specific CommerceTools environment, and it connects to the products module. As we can see, the outgoing configuration also contains a transformer, and this transformer is used to map the incoming product data to a CommerceTools product. So in this case, if we take a look at CommerceTools, which we have opened right here, there's currently no products within CommerceTools. If I go here, we can also see that we have a sFTP environment, which is currently empty. And when I open my editor, we can see that I created a XML file that contains 3 products. Product number 1 is Alumio t-shirt. Product number 2 is Alumio hat. And product number 3 is Alumio hoodie. As we can see that each product has a name and also has a status to indicate whether it should be published or not. So now what happens is when I upload this file to the sFTP environment, and I go back to Alumio, and we run the incoming configuration. So this incoming configuration will connect to the sFTP environment, and it will look for a file called products.xml. So now when I hit run incoming, we can see that the subscriber has been consumed. I can go view the logs. So if I go to the logging, we can also see that Alumio is creating tasks, right? We can also see it create another task and one more. So that's a total of 3 tasks created. We can also verify this by going to the dashboard, and we can see that there's 3 new tasks created. When I click through, we can see that the 3 new tasks all belong to the route called products from XML to CommerceTools, which is the route I was just showing you. We can also verify quickly which products are going to be imported. We can see an Alumio t-shirt, an Alumio hat, and an Alumio hoodie. If we open one of these tasks, we can also see the data that belongs to the task. So here we can see the SKU, which we also found in the XML. We can see the name, and we can see this publish field. Now what will happen as soon as we execute the route or export the data from Alumio to CommerceTools, this data will be mapped to a CommerceTools compatible format, and then the product should be created. So let's go back to the route. Let's hit run route. We can see it has been exported. So now when I go back to this task and go to the overview, let me hit refresh, we can see that the status is finished. If I now go to the CommerceTools Merchant Center and we hit refresh here, we can also see that it created 3 products, namely the Alumio hoodie, the Alumio t-shirt, and Alumio hat. We can also see that the status is also mapped. We can see that the Alumio hoodie is now published and the Alumio t-shirt and hat are unpublished, which was also indicated into the XML file, as we can see here. But now, what we want to prevent is that every time that we read the same XML file and the products don't change, we don't want to create another task, right? So for this, we created a filter on the route. So as you can see, we have a transformer here. The transformer is named filter previously stored entities, and it uses a storage. And the storage is going to be used as a comparison mechanism. So what a storage will contain is a snapshot of all the imported products. And then the next time we are reading this XML file, it's going to compare the snapshot against the XML file. If everything is the same, no task will be created. However, if one of the products is different, a task will be created for that specific product. So if we inspect the storage and we go to the entities, we can see that it contains 3 entities. And we can also see that each identifier of the entity maps to the SKU of the product. This is something that I configured, but you can also configure it for multiple fields. Now, if I open one of these identifiers, we can also see the data that belongs to this specific entity. So now what happens if I go back to the route and I open the incoming configuration once again, and I hit run incoming configuration, we can see that the subscriber has been consumed again. I will click a few more information. I'll go to the logs, and we can actually see that it's being filtered. We can see, okay, it filtered one of one entity, it filtered one of one entity, and down here it filtered one of one entity. So it did not create any task because everything is known within the storage. So now if I go back to my dashboard, we can see that there's 0 new tasks. If I go to the tasks overview, we can also see that there's only, so let me just filter on the specific route because there's a lot going on in this environment. We can only see that those 3 original tasks are only present. So now let's see what happens if I'm going to change one product. I'm going to change the Alumio head to Alumio head 1, 2, 3. And maybe we want to add another product. So instead of having a hoodie, Alumio also offers a trousers, just to get your entire Alumio square complete. So now let's hit save. I'm going to go back to the sFTP environment. I'm going to upload the new XML file. Oh, I'm going to say yes, we are going to override this file. And now what should happen if we're going to read the data from this XML environment again, I'm expecting, from the sFTP environment again, I'm expecting two new tasks, one for the change product and one for the new product. So when I hit run incoming, and I go to the logging, and we go to the logs, we can actually see that it created one task here, and it created one more task down here. If we go back to the dashboard, we can see that there's 2 new tasks. If we click through on this, we can actually see that it created one task for the Alumio head, which was changed, because if we open this task, we can see that the name has been updated. And if we go to the trousers, we can see that it also created the task for the trousers. And as you can see, we now implemented this storage in order to prevent creating duplication of data, creating duplication of tasks, and this way you keep all the hard work within Alumio.